What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to do my full coverage drag queen foundation routine. I've been getting a lot of questions on how many steps do you do for your foundation? Why do you contour? What is baking? So today I'm here to answer all of your questions. It's gonna be fun. So yeah, I just wanted to start from scratch, start this intro out with no makeup on, just so you guys can see the start to finish routine, and maybe you guys can get some tips and tricks out of this. But don't forget to subscribe to my channel before you leave, please, please, please. I'd so appreciate it. I love you if you subscribe. But if you want to see my routine, just keep watching. Okay guys, so to start out any routine, we have to prime. So today I'm gonna test out I've never used this one before. I got it in my Sephora Play Box. It's the Tarte Poreless Mattifying Primer. And I'm just gonna take a little bit of that on my finger. Ooh, it's kind of cool. It's like a gel. I'm just gonna massage that into where I have the most pore problems. I'm gonna put a little bit over my chin because I've got a lot of breakouts there. It'll kind of help, like if you have like a area where you have a lot of breakouts or like texture, that's where you're gonna want to focus it too, because it kind of helps conceal the breakout also. So next for foundation, I'm gonna take my Makeup Forever HD. It'd be great if you could see the label there. My Makeup Forever HD foundation stick in the shade Y365. And I'm gonna use it pretty generously. I usually do 2 stripes on my cheeks, 1 across my chin, 1 across my forehead, and 1 down the nose. You guys knew this was a full coverage drag queen. Don't even be gasping at the screen right now. Don't be judging me through the screen. And I'm just blending that in with my Morphe M439 foundation brush. And next, to blend out my nose, I'm going to take my Real Techniques beauty sponge. I always want to call it a beauty blender, but it's not a beauty blender. And I'm going to just blend out the foundation on my nose, because if I try to take a foundation brush, at least for me, it might work for someone else. If I take a foundation brush over my nose, it's like, oh, no foundation left. That's cool. And I'm gonna run that all over the foundation too that I applied with the brush. This is just gonna help to make sure everything is worked into the skin and nothing's cakey. That's the only thing you have to worry about with full coverage foundation, and you can get very cakey very fast, so you have to kind of go about it in the right steps to prevent that from happening. Next, I'm going to take my beloved Tarte Shape Tape. I can hardly say it, but I love it. I'm just going to take it in the normal area, in the under eye, and then on the cupid's bow, on the chin, on the forehead, and just down the bridge of the nose. I'm going to take that damp beauty sponge again, and I'm just going to go ahead and blend that out. And when you're working with full coverage concealers like this too, we're kind of using this to highlight also. So whenever I do this, I kind of wait to blend my nose and my under eyes last. That way the product kind of stays in place. It gives it time to dry down a little bit onto your skin, and it doesn't move around so badly. I'm gonna go ahead and blend this down by my cheek more first. Get that blended in. And then I'll go ahead and blend the under eye. And I've probably mentioned this in a video before, but when you're blending under eye concealer, you really, really, really want to make sure that you go back and forth, that you're not just going in one direction, because by going back and forth, it kind of helps work the product into all of the little creases. If you just go one way with it, you're gonna get tons and tons of creasing. And then to prime my eyes, I just use the leftover concealer, because I don't have oily eyelids or anything like that, so I don't really need to use a eyelid primer. I just use concealer. It works just as good. I'm gonna blend out that nose. Now that all of that is blended out, we're gonna go in with powder pretty quickly after that, just so nothing has time to crease. I'm gonna take some air spun powder on the same sponge I just used, and I'm just going to put a pretty generous layer of that right where we put that concealer. And of course you're gonna wanna go back and forth with this too, just so you can get it into all the little nooks and crevices and make sure that none of that creases. I like to do my chin too, and usually like just the very end of my nose, just because that's where I usually have trouble with foundation coming off. So this is gonna help keep everything. And I just put it on the very end of my nose and a little bit on the forehead, just basically where we put that concealer at. This is baking, so while we're baking, I'll explain this to you. So basically, the term baking, a lot of beauty gurus use this trick, and they have for a while now. Baking actually just became popular, I want to say within the last 2 years for sure. Everybody started doing it, but actually it's really an old drag queen trick, which is hilarious, but all of the beauty gurus stole it and tried to make it seem like it was their own trick. But basically, since you're layering powder onto your face and it's a thick layer, what it actually is doing is it's trapping the heat into your skin, which is crazy, your body heat, because your body temperature is what is it, 98.6 is normal or something like that? I have no clue. That could be just pull it out of the sky for all I know, but we'll go with that. So basically the powder is trapping all of your body heat and it's not letting it escape from your skin, so it's literally baking your foundation and your concealer together. So you leave it sit on for 5-10 minutes, however long you want to, and it's literally going to the heat of your body is going to melt your foundation and your concealer together, so that way when you wipe the powder off, bulletproof. This is why a lot of the drag queens did it, because they're under lights, they're sweating, they're hot, and all of this stuff, and they need their makeup to stay on through thick and thin, literally. So yeah, literally that's what baking is. You're literally baking your face. Okay, it's been a few minutes, so I'm gonna take my Morphe M43A. It's just a really nice little tulip pointed powder brush. So I'm gonna go ahead and dust this all away. Next, we're gonna move on to bronzer and contouring. So today I'm gonna use my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer, and I use it quite often. I already hit pan on it, which is sad. But I'm gonna use my Morphe R10 brush. This is my favorite brush for contouring lately. It just makes it so simple. So I'm gonna dip into that Chocolate Soleil, kind of tap off the excess. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna focus that product right in the hollow of the cheek. You can kind of see the natural shadow. Just go at the top of your ear. That's usually about the guide. I usually go a little tiny bit higher because I obviously have a round face, so I want my face to look even slimmer. So I do go a tiny bit above my natural and just go right on top of it basically. But I'm just going to go in with that product, and you're just gonna wanna start, and don't take the product really past the edge of your eye, because in the blending process it will make its way down, and if you take it all the way to your, like, almost close to your mouth, in the very beginning part, you're going to look super harsh, and it's not going to be what you're trying to go for. Another brush that I use in combination with that other Morphe brush is the Morphe M143. And then this one actually makes contouring super easy. If you're a beginner to contouring, definitely this is a good brush to use. Literally all you have to do is kind of fan it in the area, and it creates that for you. I'm just gonna run that along my hairline also. Forgive me, my hand looks terrible. I just got back from Ulta, and of course, I cannot step foot in any store that has makeup and not leave with my hand like completely covered in swatches. That's why my hand looks jacked up at the moment. Okay, and to just clean up that contour line, I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. contouring brush. It's just a little stamper brush. I think I got this at Walmart for a couple dollars. But I'm just gonna stamp that into my powder, and I'm going to just stamp out that line, and you're basically just baking this again. So you're gonna want the powder to be pretty heavy on there. And with this, you can bring that line all the way to the corner of your mouth. And this is just gonna give it a more like chiseled effect. It's gonna make it stand out more. And I kind of just fill it in a tiny bit. I'm gonna wait for a few minutes while we do our blush and highlight, and then we'll dust that off in a few. Okay, for blush, I'm gonna take my Love Flush palette by, who is this even by? Too Faced. This, I've had this for a while, but the colors inside of this are so pretty. So pretty. I absolutely love this. I saw this and I'm like, I have to have it. So I think I'm gonna take, I'm kind of feeling in like a coral mood, so I'm gonna take the shade I Will Always Love You. I'm just gonna take that on my Morphe E4 blush brush. Just gonna put that on the apples. Okay, so for highlighting, I'm gonna go in with my Wet n Wild. This is the Mega Glow highlighting powder in the shade, the shade's not on here. I think it's in the shade Perfect Petals. I'll leave it down below. It must have, the shade name must have came off with the sticker whenever it came off, but I'm pretty sure it's Perfect Petals. But this is a beautiful, beautiful highlighter for the drugstore. And especially Wet n Wild did a bomb job on this for $3. I got this at Walmart for $3, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm gonna go in with my Morphe M510 brush. And when you're doing highlight, the best way that I know how to explain it is you're gonna obviously wanna keep it on the high points of your cheeks. Sometimes if I want it to be really dramatic, I will take my brush and press down and kind of like shimmy it. It's a funny word. So I'm going to, I usually just go in circular motions, and that kind of helps blend it all in. And then I'll smile, and especially on the apples of the cheeks is where you want to focus it, and then on the high points. And then I like to put a little bit on the tip of the nose, and then a little bit on my Cupid's bow. And then just a smidge above my eyebrows. So basically my whole face. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take that same Morphe powder brush, and I'm gonna dust this all away. And you can kind of see that that line, that sharp line that we created, and whenever I dust this away, I will kind of go in over the line just so that it's not so super harsh, but it's still a harsh line, but it's not as like super crazy. And for the next and the final step, I'm going to take my Milani Make It Last setting spray. This is my favorite setting spray I've ever found at the drugstore. I'm just going to liberally spray that over my entire face. Now when that is still wet, I'm going to take my sponge again and I'm going to pat my whole face, and this is just going to help everything mold together into one, and it's going to help all of that powder that we just put on our face, it's going to help all of that to melt into the skin, and so you're not going to look powdery. This is a new trick that I just recently started doing and I absolutely love the outcome. It's one way to guarantee that you can wear full coverage foundation and use tons of powder in the process with baking and everything like that, and still come out with a really pretty, soft, luminous, natural face of foundation, but you're still full coverage. I know a lot of girls don't have the option of wearing lightweight foundation because of maybe acne scars and stuff like that. So this is a really nice way to wear full coverage foundation and not look cakey, not look super powdery, and just have a really nice base. Okay guys, so this is it for my entire full coverage foundation routine. I hope you guys had so much fun watching this, and I hope you could also get a few little tips and tricks out of it to incorporate into your everyday routine. Leave me in the comment section down below if you guys have any makeup tutorial ideas or any video ideas of what you would like to see next. But as for that, that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!